Our first canine guest is one that's very new to the adoption floor. This is one of 2 shepherd mixes that we recently made available for adoption. This one is Gunnar, and he's about a year old. And the first thing that I like about Gunnar is his face. He has a super identifiable face. He has his mask, his black mask takes up a ton of his face, except for right around his eyes where he has these little like brown spots, like reverse raccoon scenario, which makes, and then he also has the little black eyebrows in it too, which just makes it like super cute. Again, we're talking about markings, making a dog really identifiable. That's something that's going to help make sure that everybody can identify him if you were to get lost, but also here because he's housed right next to the other shepherd. So it makes sure that everybody can tell the 2 of them apart a little bit more easily. He did come to us as a stray, so we named him Gunnar. He still is learning that is his new name. So if you were to adopt him, it's not going to be an issue to kind of change his name because he's not attached to this one. During processing, he did really well. As you can see, he is very social. He likes affectionate. He's a leaner. He wants to be close to you. One of the things that I discovered about him that I really like is that he takes treats really nicely. We have a lot of dogs that are very eager to get their snacks, and so sometimes they're inadvertently, chomping on your hands a little bit to get those treats, but he takes them very nicely. He has good reactions to other dogs. He's very friendly. He's easy to get a leash on. He had no issues, with, giving up toys and things like that. But, he's big. And he is going to need some work on just basic manners because he just doesn't have any. No one's taught him yet. But he's treat motivated, so that's going to make that job all the easier. Once he gets into a home environment, when they're treat motivated, they're going to learn a lot more quickly if you can give them that great incentive.
So like a lot of our dogs, it can be challenging to walk him because he pulls hard. What can adopters do to make walking much better?
So the first thing I always tell people is if you're going to do any type of training, right, you want to exercise your dog first. If he's full of pent up energy when you're trying to get him to walk nicely, it's not really going to go well. So if you have a space where you can really let him run around all that excess energy first, that's going to be a benefit. The next thing I always tell people is don't let them get away with bad behavior. It's okay to set boundaries with your animals. If you're out on a walk with him and you let him pull you around, then he's learned that that's okay and he's going to keep doing it. So if you're really wanting to work on polite leash walking, take some time and kind of set that aside. Because, what I always tell people is when they're pulling, they stop. You put them in a sit, you kind of hang out for a second, you start to walk again. Oh, you're pulling again, we go in a sit. And then they learn if I pull, then I have to stop going to what I want to check out. That's not any fun, so let me walk nicer because there's a benefit to walking nicer. And when they're walking next to you, you can also kind of shove some treats right there in their mouth, right at your knee, and they learn again. If I walk right here, I'm not pulling, I get lots of treats, so there's an incentive to do that. And those are the types of things that we would discuss with people during adoption interviews, just to make sure that they have a general overview of what they can do, and then recommending, trainers if they want to continue working on that in a more formal setting. But if you like what you see, and you think that Gunnar's going to be a great addition to your household, the first step is going to be making that appointment as always, and you can do that by going to visit fcac.as.me.